Previously in this Psychology Pathway series, we looked at limiting beliefs in relationships. Now we're going to take a look at self-care. The major obstacle to self-care we see as being the work-life balance. The thing I found through relationships and limiting beliefs is that I really struggle with self-care, or I have struggled with self-care. And for me, what that's come down to is how do I actually manage a work-life balance? I've got 2 kids under 2.5. I'm an actor, I'm a business owner, I'm a coach. There's a lot of things there. On top of that, I'm a daughter of elderly parents. I try to see my friends where I can. I try to participate in mothers groups so my kids get their needs met. It's a lot, and actually taking care of myself in that means that I need to be really on top of balancing all of those things. Again, there I've actually really benefited from having some support, because if it's left up to me, I'll usually put myself last a lot of the time, especially where babies are concerned. And so when I've got someone with me to actually chart what I need to do for myself, according to the things that I feel will actually build my self-esteem, things that'll build my self-confidence, things that'll make me a happier person to be around, which actually then informs me being a more available mother, being a more generous spouse, being a more patient child. A lot of those things are affected by me actually taking care of myself. So I actually often have to get some help around, well, okay, I'm an actor. I want to make sure that I'm moving forward in my career at the same time as being a coach. Oh, actually, I really don't want to take myself too far away from my children, but I want to at the same time be making sure that I don't feel completely lost in motherhood. Motherhood coaching is such a rich realm for me, because I think it's a huge calling for a lot of women out there doing both.
In my experience as a psychologist, having worked in schools, hospitals, treatment centres, rehabilitation services, consultancy roles and private practice, I find that self-care is a universal issue. So one of the big issues is the work-life balance, just trying to find the right balance between self-care and prioritising work as well. And we often find that we deprioritise our self-care because we think that work is so important, and we forget about putting ourselves first. What often happens is stress starts to take over. We often feel burnt out, and we start to feel run down, and we start to forget about the things that are important. Our families, our friends, recreation, exercise, nutrition. There's a whole range of things that start to fall by the wayside. And it happens quite slowly. We don't even notice it's happening. It creeps up on us like a toxin. And our health is a real big issue as well, because when we become stressed and burnt out, we really become prone to some diseases and ill fortune. So trying to address this issue of self-care, we need to start putting ourselves first. And this can be challenging for our belief systems, particularly if we come from a family, or we have roles in our lives where it's difficult to put ourselves first. And self-care ties into our values and belief systems that we start to need to address.
The interesting thing about work-life balance is that a lot of us think that we actually need to focus more on work, and as a result we actually give away our joy. We start to do things that we feel are more mundane, and we lose the things that are actually a pleasure for us. It's really counterintuitive to actually think that what might help us are things that bring us joy and help us relax.
So once we've recognised the costs of poor self-care, we can really start to move forward and rebuild what it is that we've lost, to reconnect with our relationships, to start to prioritise our friends, family, and still have work as a functioning part of ourselves, but not so that it costs us and we become stressed and burnt out. So it's time to put the joy back in our lives.